everyone, welcome back. We are going to be doing some practice with two-step equations. So, the first one that we have here is 3x minus 12 equals negative 30. And on the left-hand side is where the x is. And our goal is to get x by itself. Remember that when we say we're solving for x, we're trying to find a value for x such that it makes both sides of the equation equal to each other. So this side of the equation is negative 30. We want this side to also equal negative 30. Now, in order to do this, we need to get rid of our constant on the left-hand side because we want to get rid of both the 3 and the negative 12. But we're going to get rid of the minus 12 right here first. We're going to get rid of the constant. The constant is the number that is not with the x. Remember that there are two terms here, 3x and negative 12. So we're going to get rid of that negative 12. And we're going to do that by adding 12 to both sides of the equation. Remember that the golden rule of algebra states that whatever you do to one side of the equation, you must do to the other. So we're going to add 12 to one side, we're going to add 12 to the other. What we get is 3x, and negative 30 plus 12 is negative 18. After that, we're going to get rid of this 3. Remember, this means 3 times x. So we're going to get rid of it by dividing both sides by 3, which is also known as multiplying both sides by 1/3. And here we can do my favorite thing in the world. We can cross cancel. And here, 3 goes into 18 6 times. So we got negative 6, and 3 goes into 3 once. So therefore, what we get when we multiply across is 1x equals negative 6. Then we're going to check our answer. So we're going to plug in negative 6 for x, and we get 3 times negative 6 minus 12 should equal negative 30. After that, we do follow order of operations. 3 times negative 6, because we got multiplication and subtraction. Multiplication, negative 18 minus 12. Negative 18 minus 12 is the same thing as negative 18 plus negative 12. Due to keep, change. Remember, the subtracting a positive, same thing as adding a negative. And therefore, negative 18 plus negative 12 is negative 30. Here again, we are first going to always get rid of our constant, which is this 2. Start with that and then get rid of our coefficient, which is the negative 5. Go ahead and try this one out on your own. What you first should have done was subtracted 2 from both sides, which would have gotten you negative 5x equals negative 50. Get rid of the negative 5 by multiplying by negative 1/5 or dividing by negative 5, however you think about it. And we again get to do our favorite thing in the world, cross canceling. 5 goes into 50 10 times and goes into 5 one time. And so therefore we get x equals 10 because these two negatives cancel out. And if we check it, we have negative 5 times 10, which is negative 50. Negative 50 plus 2 is negative 48. So therefore, we did it correctly. Here, go ahead and try this one out on your own. First, you're going to have to identify the constant and the coefficient, and we're going to get rid of our constant first, which is this negative 10 or minus 10 right here. And we do that by adding 10 to both sides. Use addition or subtraction to get rid of the constant. And then we get negative 4x equals 16 because 6 plus 10 is 16. Then we multiply both sides by negative 1/4. Again, we get to cross cancel. 4 goes into 16 4 times. So our answer is negative 4. Here, we go negative 4 times negative 4 by plugging it in back into negative 4 into back in for x. Negative 4 times negative 4 is 16. 16 minus 10 is 6. Here we have fractions now. And again, we're going to first get rid of our constant, which is this minus 1. We're going to do that by adding 1 to both sides. When we do that, what we get is 3 over 2x equals negative 24, because negative 25 plus 1 is negative 24. And then we're going to divide both sides by 3 over 2, which is the same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal, which is 2/3. So we're going to multiply both sides by 2/3, and look at that again. We get to cross cancel. These cross out, as always. But then 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 24 8 times. We got negative 8 times 2, because we just multiply across. X equals negative 6, or excuse me, 16, negative 16. We're going to plug in negative 16 for x, so we have 3 over 2 times negative 16. Again, we get to cross cancel. 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 16 8 times. So we get 3 times negative 8, which gets us negative 24. Negative 24 plus negative 1, because this is subtract 1, which is the same thing as plus negative 1, is in fact negative 25. Follow those same steps and try this one out on your own. We are going to get rid of our constant, which is this plus 5, first by subtracting 5 from both sides. Now, we change this first into 50 over 10 so that we can get common denominators, so it's easier for us to subtract on both sides, because we have a common denominator. We have a denominator of 10 on this side, so we have multiplied this 5 by 10 over 10. That gets us 47 minus 50 is negative 3, so negative 3 over 10. Then we're going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal of 3/5, which is 5/3. Again, this is so that we can cross these out and we get 1. And then we can cross cancel right here. And we get 5/10, which also, we could cross cancel back here, but which is the same thing as 1/2, or negative 1/2, excuse me, because this is negative 3/10. Over here, we're going to plug in this negative 1/2 right here. And remember, when we're multiplying fractions, we just multiply across. So 3 times 1 is 3, 5 times 2 is 10, and we have the negative because one of them is negative. Then we have plus 5, which we change into 50 over 10 to get common denominators for addition. And negative 3 plus 50 is 47. So we have 47 over 10. Therefore, we did it correctly. Here, try this one out on your own and identify the constant and the coefficient. Here, we are going to get rid of this minus 2 by adding 2 to both sides, but we're first going to get common denominators with this 15. So what we're going to do is change this into 30 over 15, or negative 30 over 15, by multiplying both by 15 over 15. Add 30 over 15 to both sides. Negative 26 plus 30 is 4. So we got 4/15. We're going to multiply both sides by 3 over 1, which gets us 12/15, which gets us 4/5 once we simplify. Again, we could have cross-canceled back over here because 3 goes into 15 5 times. It goes into 1, so we could have just gotten 4/5 right there as well. Here, we're going to plug this in for x to see if we get this negative 26 on both sides. So 1/3 times 4/5 minus 2. 1/4 times 4/5. 1/3 times 4/5, excuse me, equals 4/15, because 1 times 4 is 4, 3 times 5 is 15. Minus 2, which we're going to change to 30 over 15 so that we can get common denominators for subtraction. 4 minus 30 is negative 26. So negative 26 equals negative 26/15. Negative 26/15 equals negative 26/15. Here, this one is a little bit more tricky, but it's really the same thing. Here we just have our constant first and our coefficient second. But we still do the same rules. We're going to get rid of our coefficient using subtraction, get rid of our constant with subtraction, get rid of our constant with subtraction, get rid of our coefficient with multiplication or division. Go ahead and try this one out on your own. We're going to subtract 4 from both sides first, which gets us negative 2x equals negative 14. Multiply both sides by the reciprocal of the coefficient, which is negative 1/2 in this case. And then again, we get to cross cancel. and 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 14 7 times, and then x equals 7 because these negatives cancel each other out. And then we check it. 4 minus 2 times 7. We do the 2 times 7, which is 14. 4 minus 14, same thing as 4 plus negative 14, which is negative 10. So therefore, we did it correctly.